Welcome our beautiful viewers. We are right here at Donor Center with the beautiful and amazing baker Ida, who is going to be taking us through the procedure of baking. She's going to show us how to make some cookies, how to bake a cake. Hopefully I'll get to taste it later on. It's just going to be amazing. Do not touch that device. There's a lot to learn right here on Jumpstarter.
We are from baking it. Yeah, we left it to cool. Then after we covered it, yeah, so that you know the germs, dust. We made sure that we cover it with a cling film. Yeah, so now we are going to do our finishing. So this is how it comes out. And before starting, I have to make sure it usually has these things that this tab when you're trying to do your first coating. So I try to remove them off so that I have a neat cake and neat finishing. So whatever you do when you're starting finishing, it has to be right from the inside when you're starting. Don't forget, you're supposed to have clean hands. So for this, I'm only going to do one layer, but we usually join 2 layers according to the pricing of the cake. But here I'm going to use only 1 layer. So still, I'm going to show you the concepts of using 1 layer, what you need to do. We usually cut off this. This helps us to know whether our cake got ready very well and how it looks inside. There is a texture that we usually need for a cake, so this is a good texture. This is the texture that we need. Like tekoze, you know that thing of echimere? No, it didn't do that. So there you really know that your cake is perfect. Yes, so we are going to do what we call first coating. Now we have started on the process of finishing our cake. So first coating, we already prepared our butter icing. So I make sure I separate it in a separate container so that I use a little of it so that I don't make all our buttercream like have the crumbs within it. So you have to be really slow at what you're doing so that you don't damage the edges of the cake. We shall need them for perfect decoration. And when I'm doing my first coating, I use little butter icing. You will see the difference between the first coating and the second coating when I start the second coating. So for first coating, however much I've put, maybe a little, by mistake I've put a lot of icing, I make sure I have to remove it such that when the person is eating the cake, they eat cake, not only icing sugar. So we are supposed to put very little icing for the first coating, and first coating just helps us to cover everything inside and also put all the crumbs inside the cake so that they don't show when we are doing our finishing, our final designs. So I'm done with my first coating. You see, when I try to use the palette for you to get to know that it is now okay for you to go to the second coating, you try to use your palette to try to wipe off what is on, and this is what comes off. Very little butter icing. Finishing. Tugenda ku final, yeah? So this is our final stage in decorating. I usually put on a lot of icing. It depends on the kind of design that you want to do, so it will basically guide you on what on how much icing you put. So this is my final design. You see, I have used a knife that has designs in it. Most of the people use it for bread, for cutting bread, but it helps me to put in the lines so that the cake doesn't look so ordinary. This icing sugar, we usually keep its papers. We don't, the polythenes, we don't throw them away because they help us. There is something that we do, like the decoration, the drawing of flowers. We use a nozzle, and this paper helps us, this polythene. It is hard enough to hold the nozzle. So I'm going to put roses. So we use the cheapest means possible. So there are some people who use piping bags, but piping bags are very expensive. Because if you're starting a business, we want to look at the cheapest ways possible and the way you can use the available resources. Yes, so I'm doing one of the simplest designs a person starting baking can do. Okay, so I told you we use the cheapest means possible. Don't forget, don't throw away our polythenes after using your icing sugar. So this can also work as a writing nozzle, and you're supposed to really be good at writing. The the way you write also adds on the beauty of the cake. So most of the people who start baking, they usually have a problem with writing. So there are usually cutters that you can always use to just, use them. They have very good handwritings. You can use them and just put them on. Yeah, so our cake is ready for jump starters. Just 10 to 15 minutes and we are good to go.
Hello, my name is Beth one more time, and we have just witnessed the baking and the process of that amazing cake made specially for Jumpstarter, and me being one of them means I get to taste it. Ha! All right, we have Ida right here with us, and we are in her amazing establishment. She's going to be telling us about her business, about the challenges and the good things she has faced in this business. Thank you so much for joining us, Ida.
You're welcome.
We are very happy to have you on Jumpstarter.
Thank you.
Just tell us a little bit more about yourself, if you don't mind.
Nambe Ida, aka Tracy. Yeah. By God's grace, I'm the CEO of Bake My Wish, and I started this business in 2020. That is when I got the skill. So right now, I should say a proud baker, and I will choose self-employment for the rest of my life.
All right. So you said you started it in 2020, right?
Yeah, that's when I got the skill.
Was this pre or post-lockdown?
It was post-lockdown.
Post-lockdown, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, people had a lot of time to think and self-reflect and figure out which is the side hustle and which is the business. Anyhow, that was just a side note. So Bake My Wish, right,
Yeah.
is the name of the business, the establishment, and the shop, right?
Yeah.
Is there a particular reason you picked Bake My Wish? Or it was just a fun, playful, spontaneous kind of thing?
Basically, it was okay. Later on, it became into fun, but basically, my late dad was called Sir Samuel Baker Chewanoka. So part of the money that I used for my skill was part of the money that he kept for the children who would grow up. So I went for this skill. So I decided I wanted my bakery to have a name that had something like the name that goes to earn the respect of my father. So we came up with names, Baker, the Baker, whatever we came up with. Then after we were like, but I think it is not coming out. So my friend and I start when we are actually the ones, she's actually the one who gave me the idea, like, let us Google some names, the names that are not really used. We see what comes out best. So we had a list of like 20 names. So when the names came out, I tried to consult like the chefs that I know. I tried to consult the friends that I know. and all of them were saying, it was actually, at first it was bake your wish. Then after, a major chef, he's in Kenya, he told me, why don't you make it bake my wish? Then so we came up with bake my wish. Then the slogan tried to rhyme, like bake my wish, baking you the best. So it was, first of all, it was, you know, the other idea, then it just became fun.
Okay. That is actually an amazing insight on the name, because I love words, so the wordplay, bake my wish. Yeah, it's really nice and very creative and playful. Can you give us a little more background on how you began to bake, how you started to bake, how you chose baking to be, well, your career path, because you said you choose self-employment today, tomorrow, and forever. So can you please give us an insight on why you decided that baking is the way to go for you?
Okay, so what basically most of the youths don't know is that, yes, I'm a graduate. I graduated in social work and social administration. And by God's grace, I got to finish campus when I had a job. But you know, the job relations of when you're done with campus, they usually take you for someone who is just getting a skill, who is just getting, you know, to be competent within the world. So they usually use you. You don't have time for yourself. So within that, yes, the job was there, but I didn't have that peace of mind. So you will wake up, go work, go do this, but then in the end, you are not appreciated. So you can imagine a graduate who is being given 100,000. So you work from Monday to Monday, then someone gives you 100,000. So lockdown comes in. When lockdown came in, I decided, you know, and they were like, they are going to make our salary half of the money. So you get, you're a graduate, someone tells you they are going to give you half of the money, yet they were giving you 100. So what is that? So as I sat there, I was like, you know, I have some money. What should I do with it? So I wrote down, I'm a person who likes, you know, things to do with cooking. So I wrote down the things I wanted. There is something called juice making, whatever. I wrote everything that is aligned with things to do with catering. So within it, I had tasted someone's cake that was really, really nice. And I was like, why don't I try this lady? So when I tried to contact this lady, I told her, I want to learn baking. What should I do? She told me it is 1 million. I'm like, God forbid. I can't pay the 1 million. Oh, so I said, I cannot pay the 1 million. And that was the end of me. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use the money for something else. So that's what I did. I had started actually using the money for something else, and you people won't believe this, but I was at home cleaning. A little girl came to me and she knelt down. She greeted me like, how are you, auntie? I'm like, I'm fine. She told me, you're going to bake my cake. I had not yet started baking. So she told me, you're going to bake my cake. I'm like, young girl, I don't bake cakes. I don't know how to bake cakes. She told me, I'm going to make 6 years, but make sure you bake my cake. You're going to bake it. You guys, you can't believe right away. You said that 1 million was a lot of money. I had to leave this side. Nankulabye to Chisasi. That was lockdown. I had to use like an Uber to get there. But then right away, because I knew what this lady used to do, and remember, I had started using the money for something else. So this girl comes in, she tells me, and you won't believe, after that, I looked for the girl to bake for her free cake. I have never seen the girl up to today. Oh, yeah. So that's how, so my journey, I can't leave out that girl, because right away after her telling me, you're going to bake my cake, not even the thing pushed me that you have already got an order, but right away I found myself giving there the money, calling the teacher like, tomorrow I'm coming for baking. So after a week, that's when I remembered, I'm like, how did I start this? So before, I didn't even have the passion. I was just going there for something like, you know, getting a skill, because I'm not a person who likes sitting down. So I'm like, let me go, just get a skill. I don't know where it will be. So after like, you know, a week, that is when I started. Actually, the second week in my baking, that is when I got my first order. I remember that was Father's Day. Wow. So it was my first order. It was 70,000. I was so excited. Before that, I got another one, 100,000. I got another one, 100,000 in the same week. So I was like, wait, yes. I was like, wait, this is a business. And when I joined it, before, I'm telling you, the passion wasn't there. But my teacher made me love what I was doing. So within a week, the passion had already come. Anyone who tells me about baking, I will join right away. So I remember I even started like posting a little work of what I'm doing. You know, when you're starting, some of my friends were like, okay, I was considering them friends, but of course some of them will put you down. They will be like, no, why are you posting such? But while I was posting the such is where I got the orders from. So I encourage the young girls out there, whenever you're starting something, let people see where you started from. They see your progress. Those who will align with you will always be with you, and once they get to know the good things you're doing, you will prosper. Yeah, so that's how the baking journey started. I'm like, okay, so this can be business. I got my 100K. Actually, I remember that week I was so happy. I had 300K. That was mine. I was so happy, you guys. I was getting 100,000.
Oh, dear.
So this 300, I'm like, this is my money. The happiness came in. So whenever I could get an order, right away ran to Chisasi. They used to charge us for the oven fan. That was 10,000 per cake you make. Then remember I had to put in transport. But once the passion set in, I was not even calculating the money.
Wow.
The passion was there. So yeah, that's...
Wow, that is quite an interesting journey, and all because of a little girl whom we actually do not know is actually a little girl. Could have been an angel, by the way. I mean, when God decides to open a door and a window and a ventilator, no one can close them, I like to say. Anyhow, Ida has just shared with us her insight and her backstory of how she began baking. So if you have a dream, if you have a passion, if you have something you think you can do, please follow it through. Please do it as well and as much, and put in the capital that you need to put in, because you never know. I mean, it was lockdown and she was here making 100,000 a week, 100,000, 300,000. And the rest of us, well, let's not go there. Anyhow, so as a business, normally you have to find a way to keep it consistent, right? Yeah. You have to find a way to keep, now that you are selling product, it has to be a good product consistently, and then you have to come up with new ideas all the time, every day, so that people keep coming back and don't feel like it's becoming too boring or too usual or too normal for them. How do you go about that? How do you come up with new creative ideas to do this thing every time?
So basically I use internet, that is Pinterest. I make sure at least on a weekly basis, I have time off to look out for new designs, look out for new recipes, look out for, I'm just that person that just wants to be extreme, because most of the people who taste my cakes, some of them I started with, right now will tell you, this is better than this flavor is better than this. So you will know even before. I usually take feedback, so crucial. So whenever I get feedback, like most of the clients be like, you know, blueberry is a nice flavor. I'll make sure whenever someone comes to me, I'll make sure the blueberry flavor, or it is in Chikubo down there, I'll go and deliver it. Okay. So that I get that good flavor, so that whenever, because at times I should say maybe the designs at times I might go wrong, but with the taste I never go wrong. Okay. So most of my clients, I realized what my clients needed best, and that was the taste. They were like, however much you're struggling with the design, that is when I was starting, they were like, we shall go with that taste. Wow. So I really make sure I go look for recipes. Now for like cookies, you won't believe I wasn't taught cookies. I started my own recipe. There is a girl next to us. She brought me some cookies, and then I was like, what did you use? She told me, icing sugar and prestige. That was enough for me. That was enough for me. I'm like, okay, icing sugar and prestige, what should I do? Google. I went Google. However, Google doesn't give measurements. So I set the measurements for myself. I set everything for myself. So until I perfected, I did something like 10 times those cookies until I perfected. And right now I can tell you, I confidently give you my cookies and be like, yeah, I'm now competing with Javas.
Oh, wow. And it is actually true, because I have had the pleasure of tasting her cookies, by the way. They are amazing. If you get the time, if you find the time, please do come to Donor Center, right? Yeah. Donor Center in Kasubi, the junction. Please come through, place your orders. Manang, it's just too much. Anyhow, you've indirectly also answered my next question. I was going to ask how technology has impacted your business, how it has helped, and also how it has not helped so much. But besides using Pinterest for research and Google for research, how else has the internet, technology at large, because the Jumpstarters will have to talk about how technology is influencing the businesses that have been started up. How well has technology helped, or how not so well has it helped your business?
So business-wise, I can't really say anything bad about internet because right now, our century, it is more of internet. And I should tell you that maybe, okay, let me say on a scale of 10, 5 to 6% of my customers are from internet. Why? Trust me, there are OGs I started with, and we had lost connection, we had lost. But this thing of, Facebook, you have posted something, WhatsApp, you have posted something, you will easily connect to your old students, all that. They will be like, oh, so now she's in such a business, she's in such a business. So right away, they will reach out to you. Then we are blessed with TikTok. So right away when I'm here, TikTok is really fun, but you can use it at your own gain. Why? Because you just be there and then record yourself putting on an apron. Someone in the background will be like, oh, so she's playing with such this and this. Someone will ask you, where are you located? How much is this? Do you do cakes? So you can advertise your business using internet where you are. Even if you're just as if having fun, someone will right away know that you're doing this and this. So I should really confirm that internet, you can use it in a very positive way, and that is business-wise. Don't just use it for, just posting memes. I enjoy posting memes, but in my meme, I will make sure one meme, the other post is a cake. One meme, so that people keep, watching. So there is a time I was like, the aim is to make all the people in my contact list support my business. And trust me, last year, I made sure I post cakes. Even if you know me, even if you're a crush, stalker, whatever, I save your number. I save your number. I make sure I'm supposed to what? To support Bake My Wish. So make sure, however much you enjoy the internet, the memes, put the meme, but put there what you do. Yeah.
Well, there you have it, dear ladies. Bambi gabe number yo. Like, seriously, gabe number yo. It's good for you, especially, if you have, I don't want to call it a hustle. If you have a business, well, you do not know these crashes, whatever they are. They could be loyal status viewers and actually be a customer. So you never know. You never know who your potential customer is, right? Yeah. Anyhow, so on to my next question. As a business, how are you able to sustain this business and also keep up with it being eco-friendly? Look at the products that we use for baking, right? Because, there's lots of sugar. There is, now, especially most of the time, one of the biggest customers of these sweet products are children. So how do you make sure these things are healthy enough for them, are eco-friendly for them, for the old, for the young, someone with diabetes, name it?
Yeah. So basically, sustainability, I should tell you, I started this in 2020. I started baking from home. Start small. Start small. So use the little things that you have. There is no need for you to parent at first when you have just got the skill. So first be baking from home. Try to get like the money you get from one cake. Make sure, because the ingredients that we usually buy, we buy them and they usually take us for like other 5 cakes. So that is already, you have already sorted your other 5 customers that are coming in. Then make sure you join the circles. Circles have really helped me because I have a savings circle. I have 2 of them. However, go to the one that you can afford. Even if it is just 20,000, that is okay, because circles have really saved me. For me to start and be like I can parent, for me to start and be like I can now open a shop, it was basically the circles. I gave in, and then I was like, I get my cake, I be like, this is for 100K. I put behind the 30K that I will spend for the expenses. And then I be like, the circles, I'm in 2 circles. What do I do? Where do I get the money for this circle A? Where do I get the money from circle B? So since I started up these products, like selling the products, there is some money I get from selling the products, and then some money I get from the cake. So one circle, the money I use is from the cakes, and then the other circle, the money is from the products that I sell for the bakery stuff. So basically, I should say for sustainability, first of all, you need sustainability. First of all, make sure you make your clients happy. Why? If they give you feedback, how are you going to keep that customer? So we need these customers. That is one part of sustainability. That's how are you going to keep them coming back. And when you get this money, what do you use it for? Do you buy something else that will add up to the bakery, or you're just spending it? So put into consideration what you're going to add in the bakery that you will not need to use. Maybe you get like a baking tin. That one you will use it until you leave baking. So that means you have not used the money to party, but you have reinvested the money back to the business. Yeah, what else?
Yeah, okay, so for her, she says how she's able to sustain her business. Well, you heard it from her yourself. Join a circle if you can, because she has a way of saving, and she can also still get some money in advance if she needs it. Also, we can, as you can all see behind me, it's not just about the baking alone, but we see a few party props that are here as well, right? Happy birthday sachets, decorations for the tables. Was that also intentional, or it just comes with a package?
It doesn't come with a package. They buy it separately.
They buy it separately. Yeah. So it's complementing the business.
Yes. Yeah? So that is what I'm saying, that today I know if I have no order for cake, I have what to sell. It's not spread. Okay. Someone will buy maybe Prestige. You get the people in baking. Kids will buy, they come and buy, the icing sugar that we use. We don't usually dispose it off because we can't use it for another cake, but still we don't dispose it off. Now we package it very well for the kids.
For the kids.
Yeah, they come and buy it, they take it like sweets.
Okay. Yeah. So wherever there is an opportunity, make money out of it, so long as it's legal. Yeah. All right. So my next question would be, well, I mean, really, just saying. My next question would be, this is a business that you intend to sustain for a very long time, and probably your other generations that will come from you will be able to benefit from it and make it bigger. So how do you see this business and you as a young entrepreneur impacting the community around us, the young people around us? How do you see your business influencing them to be better and brighter entrepreneurs like you are?
Okay, the best thing I will say is getting a skill is never something that you will regret in life. So one thing I see is that if I wake up and I have 5 people or someone, a sister of mine, because I work with my sister. I got her from the village. She was no longer studying. She finished her Form 4 and then she wasn't proceeding. So I'm like, how can I help someone out there who is not doing anything but can at least get a skill and that she's not seated, she's not going to get into pregnancy, she's not going to get into drugs. So I decided to bring her, and then I taught her the basics. Actually, not the basics, because right now I can say you can take her on and she can bake for you a well-made cake very well. So I see this hoping my next generation, that the skill I'm passing on to one person, it will be able to be passed on to another young person. They will be able to make a living out of it. Yeah.
Wow, that is very insightful and amazing. So if you have a skill, you have a talent, you have something, knowledge about something, it is good to always pass it on. As I always say, we've been entrusted with knowledge and skill to pass on. And right here on Connect TV, we always try to impact the young people because they are the future. So anything you'd like to tell our young entrepreneurs, our young viewers out there who would like to also venture into the baking business and anything? Well, it's not just baking alone, it's pastries and confectionery as well, right? And of course, the party planning bit of it that you've added to it to make it colorful. Any word of advice that you'd like to give them for anyone who'd like to venture in the business?
Yeah, so basically, the first thing first is I will tell all the youths out there, go study, get that degree, whether you want to get the degree, whether you want to get anything, please first study, get the degree, and after there, figure out something to do. However, business is the way to go. Partly, some of us have been blessed into business, and you shouldn't look at someone in business as a failure, because most of the youth think that when you're done with campus, you're just supposed to sit there and be in office rotating chairs. You're being paid, you're having AC somewhere else. But when you start the business when you're young, the beauty about it is that you're going to get in your 30s, your 35s, and your business has already prospered. Like you're not like someone who is going to start a business at their 50. They barely know knowledge about it, but here you're growing with your business. People are getting to know your progress, your what. So it is better for the youths out there. Join in any business and make sure you get it very well. That however much, at times we don't have the passion, but the passion keeps on developing slowly by slowly. And the good thing is that when you have the passion, then you're good to go. You don't even focus on the money at first, but you first gain the skill, and then you're good to go. You will start something without even noticing, and before you know it, you have prospered.
Wow. Thank you so much. So well, that is all we had to hear from Ida, our amazing baker, today. So allow us, the Jumpstarters, and Ida as well, to go and try out this amazing cake that was made specially for us. And we actually watched the entire procedure, so we know exactly what we are eating. Oh, it says Jumpstarter. That's so nice. And it has sprinkles all over it. Thank you so
This is
much.
a vanilla and chocolate cake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I am a diehard for chocolate, so I don't know if my co-workers will have any left, but okay.
You're really going to enjoy
Yeah,
it.
thank you so much for joining us on the show, Ida. It has been a pleasure.
Coming.
Thank you so much for sharing your insight, your knowledge, and being another woman doing amazing things in our community today. We are so grateful.
Thank you.
Yeah.